What's up, and welcome back to another Kind of Funny live reaction, this time to the Nintendo Direct for June 18th, 2025. All about Donkey Kong Bonanza. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I'm joined by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
Greg Miller.
Let's monkey around.
And Andy Cortez.
Are we going to see Stanky Kong?
Stanky Kong, the long-lost, forgotten Kong? Mm-hmm. We can only hope. Greg, what Kongs we seeing in this?
Donkey.
Okay.
Of the main variety.
Yeah.
You'll see Diddy, of course. I know there's been
of
a lot
course.
of
Really?
Of course. Of course.
What do you mean, of course?
There's been a lot of chatter from y'all chatterheads about, hey, where is he? What's going on? Then we saw the redesign on the site.
Yeah.
All right. They wouldn't be redesigning to put him on the site.
Right.
They're going to be in this
That's
fucking
true.
game.
That's
All right.
very true.
Yeah.
Then, do you get Cranky?
Yes.
You definitely get
We
Cranky.
saw Cranky in the preview we played.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying he's going to show up today.
I have a feeling he will.
You know what I mean?
Okay, wait. Yeah, where's
Maybe
your
it's
buddy
like
at?
James Gunn where they hit him. You know what I mean? Maybe you saw Cranky, but that's actually Diddy.
Wow.
Superimposed.
wow.
Superimposed.
Time
They're
paradox.
very different sizes, but
Yeah.
Wow,
I can
yeah.
see it.
And what's
Bless-
the Coolio Kong? Which one's that one?
Funky?
Cool, funky.
Yeah.
I was thinking the word Coolio as well.
Coolio
My
Kong.
mind is your mind.
Holy shit, dude.
We still got to figure out where Funky Kong was on January 6th.
Funky? Yeah, okay, man.
Yeah.
You're
Donkey
right,
Kong
you're
64.
right.
Let's not forget.
Lanky.
Lanky was at home chilling. Lanky was watching the news like the rest of us, being like, "Oh God, that's not good."
I'm Team Dixie over
Yeah.
Team Tiny. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping
I
we get
feel
my
you.
girl back. But I just, the more Kongs, the better. The more Kongs, the merrier.
I agree, but I
Bring
don't
them
know
out.
if Nintendo agrees. I feel like having more Kongs is such a rare thing. I feel and not rare is in the studio, not even
Yeah.
like a rare.
Yeah,
That. I feel like Nintendo likes to keep it to just Donkey and sometimes Diddy.
No, I mean, I
Sometimes
think it's
Cranky.
the Tropical Freeze crew, right? It's Donkey, Cranky, Diddy, and Dixie.
And Funky, right?
And Funky.
Yeah. Okay.
They do
You
like
know what? That's a
Funky.
good chunk. That's a good handful.
Yeah, not Chunky Kong, though.
Not Chunky Kong. No, we're not seeing
bring
him
him back.
64.
That's
God.
fat shaming. That's why they won't let him back. I don't
He's
know
not
who
even
he
like
is.
fat.
I don't know who
He's
he
just-
is.
man.
I don't know who he
He's
is.
on big
He's on
bones.
Ozempic now.
Yeah. Skinny Kong. All right, everybody. Let's get into this direct. I think it's like 15 minutes or
That's
so.
what I
We're
said,
going
yeah.
to react to that, and then we're going to get into the Kind of Funny Gamescast, breaking down everything that we see. Let's get into it.
Not the clap.
When the world felt so cruel.
What are you doing?
It's on Baby Girl.
The Pauline.
I'm fucking right.
Oh yes.
When the whole
Oh man, look at this ugly fucker. I can't wait to be friends with him.
I'm glad
I love that there's a vocal theme. This is awesome.
I'm glad Pauline's thing is just singing.
Yep.
After Odyssey, she has to.
He has to. This is her origin
But like, is
story.
she a singer or is she a mayor?
She's both.
You
Oh
can't
my
be
God,
both.
what
You
are you
gotta
talking
She
choose
about?
one.
sings Jump Up Superstar.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was
Yep.
in Terminator.
Yeah.
So you're saying that she's the Arnold of the Donkey Kong universe?
Show me what you got. He's wearing suspenders.
Oh, he's real like orange looking.
Fucking dies.
The Rock
Oh
is her.
shit!
She was the Rock all along.
Golden Bananas, the discovery of the century, made right here on Ingot Isle.
Hell yeah.
This is excellent news for #1 banana fan, Donkey Kong.
This
However,
voiceover
just as he's
gives
about
like
to enjoy
DK64
the
era.
notable nanas, a sudden tempest sends him deep down underground.
Oh,
As his adventure begins, DK teams up with Odd Rock.
Odd Rock.
It's no rock at all. It's actually a talented young singer named Pauline.
The future mayor.
but she's actually not talented.
And Pauline wants to find
She's
a way
a broom.
back home to the surface. It's said that
green
one's wish will
briefcase.
be granted by reaching the planet core.
Yes.
So the unlikely duo set off on a strange subterranean
That's
adventure.
like them King Kong movies.
Yeah.
The story
Wreck-It
takes
Ralph.
place in the underground.
No, but where they go
Yeah,
underground.
remember there's a world
Yeah.
under the
Deeper you
world.
go. Some layers are
This makes
so
sense to the layer design we were talking about
that
there
it's
at Summer
hard to
Preview.
believe you're underground.
Can't believe I'm underground.
Cool.
DK can run, jump,
More of a gallop, I would say.
and climb through each environment. Using his incredible physical
Maybe with
prowess,
them levels.
you can freely move in any direction,
Wow.
That's not
little air
all.
dash. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Almost
Oh, this
anything
platform
in
is
your
about to go
path.
insane, Bliss.
You can smash, crash, and bash.
Some good hit stop right there. Animation. That looks good.
You can even do this to a massive rock formation.
Oh my God.
You know, if you want. As you barrel through
Power of the
obstacles in
switch
your
right there.
path, you'll also collect golden bananas
A lot of No Man's
known
Sky
as
in this game.
Bananium gems. More on those later.
He turns orange.
Yeah,
Some
see how
of
he's,
the
saying,
he's
things
dog?
powering
that
up?
Kong can do. Punch. Smash enemies. Walls.
This looks really good.
Yeah.
The ground. And most things you can get your hands on with incredible force. Destruction can lead to discoveries. So set off a chain reaction and see what happens.
It's gonna be Astrobot levels of vibration and feel.
Dive punch.
HD Rumble 2.
Unleash a powerful punch directly downward. How deep you punch into the ground depends on the strength of the terrain. Roll forward. Roll at high speed and send lighter objects soaring. Combine this with punches and jumps to really mix things up. Hand slap.
Down
Make some
B.
noise
Yeah.
to collect scattered items. Or detect hidden objects
Oh,
using
neat.
sonar.
Oh, sonar.
You can even use your feet when your hands are occupied. Tear off. Grab a chunk of terrain and tear it off. Or tear up turnips to find items. And even tear chunks off your foes.
So why is The Rock the child?
Oh,
Swing.
it'll make sense when you play.
Grab a chunk and
like Ben
swing
10,
it to
yeah.
attack.
Because she has
Harder
the thing on
chunks
her
can
wrist.
be used to break stone with ease. Or smash
Odd Rock's
spiky
wish will be to
thorns.
be a real girl. You know,
Wow.
Chunk jump.
Chunk
Use a
jump.
chunk to double jump.
that's cool.
This will help you reach new heights.
Oh, cool.
Learn out from Chunky?
Throw. Throw a chunk.
Chunky.
Or aim at a
Is
target.
Choco Mountain
like
the name
this.
of the Mario Kart level?
Throwing a boom
I want a
rock
Choco
or
Mountain
gold
level.
can have explosive effects.
Wow.
It's time.
It's time.
If you throw chunks made of softer material, you can stick them to a surface.
Oh, that's
Whoa.
fun. That's cool.
Holy
That's
shit.
Really cool.
Turf serve.
That's cool.
This lets you ride on chunks.
Yeah. There's so much Breath of the Wild in this game.
Speed up
Kickflips.
and aim for smaller enemies to knock them away. Make music. The power of Pauline's singing will show you the way. It can also remove these strange seals that someone left behind.
A real Pauline.
I'm definitely coming around to like, why is she a rock?
You never know what it is.
Like all
the
his gameplay is as her as a kid.
They didn't want to reveal it earlier.
Yeah, but they put a whole rock mechanic.
So carve your own
hide her.
It'll make
with
sense when you
DK's
play.
abilities.
She wants to be a real girl.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be a rock no more. But she'll learn that along the way that Odd Rock is all she needs to be.
That big melon.
The many layers of the
They
underground
update
world
Mario
are
Odyssey
host
and like
to
the mayor's just a rock.
It's like that the whole time.
Oh shit.
Some are mysterious and
I
aren't
do love
too
that this is
bothered
basically
by
a prequel to
DK's
Mario Odyssey.
destructive tendencies.
And Donkey Kong.
It looks like Cranky
There he is.
But like,
also
Cranky Kong's
venturing
old.
through the layers of the
He's
world.
always
Cranky Kong, but like he's the Donkey Kong in the OG Donkey Kong.
That
Then
dude's
there
name is
are
Rambi?
the giant
But what if it just
Yeah,
is a
it's Rambi.
cycle
who
that
call the
continues?
underground
Like it's
world
Zelda?
Time and time again.
Oh no.
Their
This
city
Cranky is a
possess
different Cranky.
ancient Bananza powers.
Now, bless is this pre-Kong War?
I mean, it would
By
have to
learning
be,
their
but
Bananza powers,
again, the cranky of it all.
Pauline's singing can
Yeah,
do
we need
something
term limits. Those
special.
old guys gotta get out.
She can make Donkey Kong transform.
Holy shit.
With an air horn destructive power, even hard terrain poses no problem. Wow.
Oh, look at that
Plow
ass.
through the world and smash
Yeah.
as much as possible with the powerful
Hey, man, they made it.
Kong Bonanza.
They
Yeah.
kicked him up. It ain't,
Some respect
on
on
me.
DK's
It ain't on
DK
me.
can transform into a zebra.
What the
He's
fuck?
as speedy
I don't like that.
as he is striped. He can even breeze over water or crumbling pathways. That's the swift
Left a lot of collectibles back
Zebra
there.
Bonanza. Oh yeah, he can also turn into an ostrich. A flying ostrich.
Oh,
Spread your
shit.
wings and soar through the sky.
This makes me uncomfortable.
You can use updrafts to gain more air.
If you let those eggs hatch, what's it gonna be?
Then
A
drop
monkey or a
air bombs
bird?
and break heights to send enemies scattering.
Science went too far.
That's right.
Science went
It's
far.
Ostrich Bananza. Bonanza transformations don't last forever, though. You can transform again by collecting gold to build up your banana.
He goes back to his normal form and just vomits.
We're just saying words now.
Banana.
This is what I was talking about yesterday with the
You're
Xbox
not
like,
limited
marketing
to win.
pushes. Yeah, he had too many terms.
Was it Banergy or Bananergy?
Banergy.
Banana. Oh,
Banana
okay.
orgy.
All back.
Standing in our hero's way is the Void Company.
Oh,
the mightiest
shit.
This
mining
is so Odyssey
operation
coded,
both
like
above
the
ground
those
and
stupid
below.
enemies that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Grumpy Kong works to create
No,
I
gigantic
I kind of fuck with the Void
soldiers.
Company.
I just,
More than.
yeah, I think these guys look
Poppy
Way
Kong.
Or subterranean info gathering. While Void Kong is in charge of
We got
the
Mojo
whole
Jojo.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a grandma, yeah.
At least
Spike.
they're still Kongs, whereas like
This nefarious
Odyssey, they were
crew
just like
is responsible
bunnies for some fucking
the
reason.
banana-stealing maelstrom on Ingot Island, and they're heading straight down to the planet core.
The planet core? But no! I'm going with DK, so you just stay away!
Voidco blocked off all the routes to the lower layers, so no one could reach them.
Bastards.
DK and his pals will come face to face with the enemies guarding these routes. So use all the power at your disposal to take on a host of
Cool.
powerful foes.
Those are gonna be some fun boss fights, man.
Yeah.
By defeating them, giant sinkholes will open, clearing a path to the lower layers of the underground
How do you
world.
guys feel about him wearing pants?
You know, I was thinking about that. I kind of fuck with it.
Want to dick out?
Found throughout the underground world.
Also, Donkey
are
Kong's
golden bananas
anatomically correct.
called Banandium gems.
Banandium. More words, bless.
They're not
That's too
always
many
visible,
words.
though. Sometimes
Just
they're
keep-
buried
just
in
call
the
them golden
walls,
bananas.
the ground, and other places. There are a whole bunch
Music.
to find.
The remix songs are gonna be so.
You can
Yeah.
also obtain these gems by completing challenges in the ruins found throughout your adventure.
Let's
Yeah.
do this!
Shout out Grant Kirkhope.
Challenges include time-limited battles,
This is David Wise.
Oh, you're right. This is David Wise. Yeah.
courses where you'll need clever solutions,
Oh, that's awesome.
Very cool.
side-scrolling stages,
Oh,
Yes.
sick.
Oh yes. Bramble Blast, baby.
Oh, wow.
keep your eyes peeled to find the Banandium gems.
Those look like some sticker brushes.
There are plenty of
Oh, you know
ruins
they're
to
playing that
discover,
symphony, baby.
So give them a try.
Oh, that's cool.
It was awesome playing that song for Nick the first time.
Yep.
It just seemed like, oh my god. Like it needed to be a YouTube video of like 40-year-old man listens to DK, former band major, listens to DK soundtrack.
As you collect
points.
Banandium gems, you'll
Yeah.
gain
It's an RPG.
skill points. These can be used to increase stats such as your max health or the destructive power of your punches. Power up Donkey Kong to match your playstyle. For example, if you strengthen your sonar,
Wow.
you'll be able to detect treasure from further away, which could lead to new discoveries. Or use skill points
They gave my
to
boy
learn
skill
new
tree. That's
skills.
crazy.
There are all sorts of items to find as you explore.
Tim, I'm gonna go on a limb and say this game looks fun.
Bananium chips are shaped like slices of banana, and they can be traded for Banandium gems at the chip exchange.
Whenever I buy those at an airport, I'm always disappointed.
These
No
gold
wonder I get
nuggets
these.
are
$14.
unsurprisingly
Yeah.
called gold.
For banana chips?
You can
Yeah, they're
in
exchange
the airport,
gold
man.
for useful items at the stuff shop.
Stuff shop. They came up
There
with
are
words for
bosses,
everything else
too.
except stuff
They're like,
shop.
oh, we're done. We're tired. The
You
last
can
thing
trade
on the
these
list.
for different fashions at local
All right, here we
style
go. Yeah,
shops.
give me some good outfits.
Oh,
Yes.
Just open the closet and customize the perfect fits for Donkey Kong and
Dude,
Pauline,
this is very much the Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, 100%.
or even change up your fur color.
Oh,
It's
yes.
too much for Donkey Kong,
Yes.
or too
Yes.
Naked
So-
Kong.
Almost
out.
every article of clothing comes with its own benefits.
Dude, he looks
So,
sick.
it's a natural
Turn that
to
off,
suit
you know what I
the
mean?
situation.
This computer gonna be so cold.
What's it called when you can like do a different cosmetic?
Transmog.
Yeah, they have
Man,
transmog.
we need that, please.
Give me transmog, please.
Showing the
You ain't get
location of
transmog. You ain't getting
bananium
it.
gems.
Give it some
or
Donkey Kong
fossils.
term for it.
Their
Banana
locations
Mog.
will be
Banana
marked on your map. Pretty helpful
Bananza
for
Mog.
finding collectors. You can also see which
Trans-nana.
fossils and gems you collected, making it easy to see how close you are to completion.
Damn, this game looks really cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Mario Kart had this?
There's plenty more to do in the underground world when not adventuring. Need a rest? Carve
You know
out a
it.
space and enjoy a getaway where you can recover in
Hell
bed
yeah.
and enjoy listening to tunes with the music player.
Mario Kart. Fucking take notes.
You might even find new discs when defeating
This is
enemies.
what the extra month went to.
Yeah. Minus $10.
When it comes to moving between layers, subterranean eels have your back.
It is kind of crazy.
I can't believe they're playing the
These
DK route right
elevators
now.
I know.
will help
Fuck
you
yeah.
We've
easily
made it.
move between layers you visited at any time.
Bring back Lanky.
And if you get
Shout out to
lost,
Gran Curvo
no need to
finally.
worry.
Yeah.
You can always teleport within the layer you're
Teleport?
currently
We
exploring.
can teleport there?
Like peel. Like a banana peel
That's a
teal.
bit of a
Port.
stretch.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big stretch.
I think that's the animal's name. Like teal leaf.
In photo mode, you can freely
gotta be, right?
change the in-game camera angle and adjust other settings to snap pics.
Him changing colors reminds me of the
Get a
multiplayer
photo
mode
like
of
this.
DK64 Bliss.
Or
Yeah, right.
unleash your inner shutterbug and create your own captivating scenes. By sharing a Joy-Con
Rambi.
2 controller or using a second
go.
set, you and a pal can control Donkey Kong and Pauline separately
Very much
to
Mario
buddy up
and
in
Cappy
local
energy.
co-op play. As Pauline, you can unleash
What?
Vocal Blast using
Vocal
Joy-Con
blast.
2 mouse
That
controls.
Yeah.
looks cool.
You can also copy the material of nearby terrain to give your vocals even more texture.
Ben's gonna love that.
By working together, even tough enemies don't stand a
Oh,
chance.
cool. Cappy was like pretty useless, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't much going on.
This game also supports Game Share. Even if only one player has the game, they can quickly share it to another player so they can join on their own system.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
It can also be shared locally to a Nintendo Switch system.
Hell yeah.
Plus, you can play online between
Interesting.
Nintendo Switch 2
Wait,
systems
oh.
using Game Share via Game Chat.
Fuck yeah.
Wait.
Lisa,
I wonder how that
If you
works.
need a little help
I think
with
you
all
can
the
do that with
platforming
Mario
action,
Kart as well.
Assist mode is the
Really?
way to play.
I think.
It guides you in the right direction, halves the
releasing it on
damage you
Switch
receive, and more. Assist mode supports you in your adventure to be the best Kong you can be.
Are they using the power of the cloud?
Probably.
Outside
There has
of
to
the
be like some
main game,
streaming.
There's a
Yeah.
mode where you can
seems
carve
crazy
stone
for
using
Switch.
mouse controls called DK Artist.
Oh, cool. They just put everything in here.
Rotate to paint.
The music.
Andy's gonna make some shit in here.
Oh man.
Carve material.
Oh,
that's so
ZBrush,
cool.
dude.
Or add some back home.
So let's take the Mario 64 title
You
screen,
can
but make
even
it even
change the
more
lighting
functional.
and add
make Donkey
delectable
Kong
banana effects.
shit.
Chat's
Give
calling
it
it
a try
out. Here's your
and
Mario
sculpt to your
paint.
heart's content.
Andy. Here you go.
Pizza!
Wow.
This game also supports amiibo accessories. A new Donkey Kong and
I
Pauline
can't believe they
amiibo
haven't given
figure
up
is
on Amiibo.
also
That's
Yeah, it is.
crazy. There, the
Scanning
opposite
it
of giving up.
unlocks Pauline's Diva dress.
Whoa!
Yeah, Switch 2 has.
By
I assume
scanning
it has
the
the
Donkey
NFC
Kong series
shit in
amiibo
it.
shown
Yeah.
here,
Good for them.
gold Kong tiles with explosive power will appear.
It's a boy.
He was.
Amiibo released
He was
up
there.
to this point
Did he
is
was there.
also
Did he?
compatible.
Why'd they
If you
hide them?
scan them, you'll get
Easter
giant
egg.
spheres like these.
Oh, that's all. I thought there was gonna be something in that sphere.
CK? I love to sing more than anything.
They're putting vocals over the DK theme.
Dream. Maybe if we get to the surface, you and me, we can make it more than a dream.
What's Pauline doing here, bro?
I love it, dude.
What's Pauline doing
Let's
here?
go.
Cuts to his imagination, to his thoughts. He's like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Who is this girl?
He's just picturing bananas.
I have no idea what this creature is.
Join the powerful Donkey Kong and the talented singer Pauline as they set out on an adventure to the fabled planet Core.
Hey,
Wow.
Dixie.
My own special power?
Donkey Kong.
The drama.
Bananza. Available July 17th only on Nintendo Switch 2. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop. The Donkey Kong and Pauline amiibo will also be available July 17th.
For $90. Well, there you go, everyone. That was our live reactions to Donkey Kong Bananza. We're going to get into all of our thoughts about what we just saw and how excited we are for the next Donkey Kong game right after a quick word from our sponsors. This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. If you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or simply return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team are always there to have your back with personal and fast support. Y'all know I've been outside a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. Exclusively for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Again, go to shadyrays.com, use code FUNNY to get 35% off polarized sunglasses. What's up and welcome back to the Kinda Funny Gamescast for Wednesday, June 18, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
The Big Daddy himself. He's a little chilly boy, Greg Miller.
They call me Chilly Willy.
And putting the jacket on Greg Miller, it was the one and only Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Hello.
How you doing, Andy?
Oh.
Great. Sorry. I asked him right when he was bent down, plugging in his laptop. This is the Kinda Funny Gamescast, everyone. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics. Sometimes our thoughts on showcases about video games live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and you get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube SuperChats as we go. I see a bunch of y'all already writing in. Thank you so much for that. If you have any thoughts about Donkey Kong Bananza, please SuperChat them in or just any general Switch 2 questions y'all have for us to fill out the Gamescast episode today.
Hungry.
You're hungry?
No, I heard
tummy rumble.
Andy's tummy's growling over here. Meow.
A little housekeeping for you. We have something very, very, very exciting that I don't think we've even really teased yet.
No.
But you're about to get teased for the very first time right now.
We wanted to give you a gift. It is all of our favorite pieces of media, and we wrote little notes for you. I think you would really like that artist. She's an incredible singer.
Yeah.
You would really enjoy her. Caroline Polachek. Caroline Polachek, thank you so much for joining us on the Kinda Funny Gamescast. I'm Roger. Nice to meet you.
Roger, it's so nice to meet you too. I know you from Twitter at this point, so it's nice to meet you face to face.
It actually happened, everyone. Last year, Roger gave Caroline Polachek's album to Hideo Kojima, and he loved it so much that he had her create the title song for Death Stranding 2 on the beach. And now Roger sits down for a one-on-one interview with Caroline for tomorrow's Gamescast. Get hype, Roger. Congratulations.
Very exciting, everybody. I'm excited for you guys to see it. We recorded a few weeks ago, and yeah, it's going to be a really good one. And we also have a Greg Way going up tomorrow about how this all happened. So get hype, everybody. And,
exciting times.
Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations,
cool.
Roger. Great stuff.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have our Death Stranding 2 review coming up.
Monday.
So get excited for that as well. Remember, we are an 11-person business all about live talk shows. After this, we're doing Games Daily, a little bit of a switcheroo because of the Nintendo Direct today. It's going to be covering all of the WB Games restructuring. Wild stuff. Rumors abound.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
A lot to talk about.
And then after Games Daily, it's going to be Uncharted 2, continuing our Naughty Dog week with Barrett and Greg Miller, all leading in, of course, to Barrett's new video essay coming out about Naughty Dog and him replaying all of their games this Friday. If you're a Kind of Funny member, today's Greg Way is Greg talking about Pride. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Shady Rays, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's start with the topic of the show. Donkey Kong Bonanza. We just saw the in-depth direct. One of the, I would say, infrequent, but
for sure, infrequent.
Fairly common over the years. Solo game directs from Nintendo, right? Of the deeper dives of let's get into it. Don't expect announcements. Don't expect all this other stuff. I will say right there, even though I wasn't expecting announcements, I am a little surprised that Donkey Kong 64 coming to NSO, and more specifically, Donkey Kong updates for Mario Kart weren't announced here. There's always still time. There's a lot of time. But I did think that would have been like you have a month away from this, like, do a couple cool things on your Nintendo Switch too.
Listen, the world doesn't look as favorably upon Donkey Kong 64. So I think the Nintendo state of mind is, let's not ruin people's appetite before we get to Bonanza.
All right, that's fair. But even then,
even though I love
Diddy, seeing Dixie, it's like, for how limited. Seeing a baby Pauline, I was thinking it's weird that Mario Kart doesn't have a baby Pauline.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, again, she's not really a baby.
You're right.
She's odd rock.
She's a rock person.
She's a shapeshifter, I feel, in some sense. We're going to figure this out when we get in there.
Yeah,
bracelet.
It's like The Outsider, that HBO show. You know what
exactly.
I mean? Like she's some sort of like nefarious creature,
Yeah, so top level, I want to start off here because Bless and I got to play this game in New York, and I feel like we kind of differed a little bit in terms of our experience. From my gameplay was a little let down by this. It felt lesser than when you're expecting a 3D Mario from the Odyssey team, and then you get this. I'm excited. I love Donkey Kong. I'm one of the bigger fans of the Donkey Kong games, but seeing it and playing it, it felt a little bit mindless. Like, the controls are interesting and fun, where it's the top, left, and down face buttons correlate to, are you punching up, left, or down, or side or down, which is cool. Definitely fun, but into the 20 minutes we played, it already to me got a little samey and a little bit like I am just kind of button mashing my way through this. And it just felt geared more towards children, which is not a problem. These are Nintendo games we're talking about. But as somebody that really cares about like the challenge and all that other stuff, collectibles, I was a little concerned. Watching this, it doesn't fully assuage my fears, but there's a lot going on when it comes to the challenge courses and even just like the abilities and the skill trees and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe I'm still obviously keeping an open mind to this one, but I did like the showing quite a bit. What did you think, Bless?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the showing. It's funny, I was thinking about this this morning before we got to watch this, of like, I had like a little bit of feeling of nostalgia / sadness as I thought back to what Donkey Kong meant to me, like as a kid, where I'm playing DK64 and I'm thinking about like what is classic Donkey Kong to me, along with like, the original Donkey Kong arcade game, which was playable in DK64, so I fell in love with it through that way. But like, I think there was a sense of thinking forward to what we were getting in this direct, and also thinking about how, man, that Donkey Kong is done. Like, we're getting a brand new kind of interpretation of what Donkey Kong is for Nintendo going forward. We have the redesigns, we have a new 3D platformer, and all this is exciting. And I think the thing that excited me the most about the thought was thinking about my nephews and thinking about how they're going to get to experience Donkey Kong, and like, this is the beginning for them. And I think that's the thing that I come out of this most excited for, is like, oh, this is going to set the tone as far as what DK's future is for the current generation of children. And as I'm seeing all the features, as I'm seeing all this, right? Like, me and Bear will talk all the time about how much we love DK64. But for me, I'm like, I look at this and I'm like, all right, this is a DK 3D platformer that is, as I'm watching this, gonna be fantastic, right? It's not gonna have like the weird thing of like, oh yeah, I love DK64, but there's too many collectibles or too many switching between Kongs and all the issues that come with that game, right? Like, I look at this and I'm like, wow, you have a fun story set up here where you have DK and Pauline, like, have Odd Rock, aka Pauline, nefarious creature. We don't know what's going on there, right? But
Remember, even when Supergirl was Supergirl, she was still the Matrix in post-crisis. So that's what we're dealing with here, I think.
Is this a post-crisis Donkey
This is
Kong?
a post-crisis Donkey Kong.
Heavily influenced, I've heard.
But I would assume that she started off as Pauline and then turned into Oddrock.
No. I think Oddrock saw Pauline in the multiverse and cued in, just like, again, Matrix, Supergirl, post-crisis, before they actually did introduce Kara Zor-El.
Of course.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Yeah, I don't either, dude.
But you have this, fun, buddy story between the two. You have so much of the musical tracks that help define my childhood present in the game, remixed in ways that bring me back to Mario Kart World, where I'm like, yo, if this is giving me the Mario Kart World soundtrack of Donkey Kong, like, oh, we're cooking.
Won, baby.
Like, then we're winning.
And we heard like 6 or 7 different Donkey Kong songs there. So I'm pretty sure, we're about to get a lot more.
Yeah.
Of all the heavy hitters.
You had that stuff. You have I think a vastness to this game too that we're seeing here that is already beyond the scope of what I was expecting, because coming out of the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal for DK Bananza, I think I was contextualizing it more along the lines of a Kirby in the Forgotten Land in terms of vastness and scope versus a Mario Odyssey, which I see as just a much more bigger and mainline thing. The more we see out of this, the more I'm like, oh, this might lean more toward the Mario Odyssey side as far
100%.
as scope and size and all that stuff, which is exciting, but also I think is a big challenge to make this kind of platformer appealing on that level. And I'm excited to see if they're able to live up to that, because this isn't Mario Odyssey in the sense of, you talk about getting your hands on the controller at the Nintendo Switch 2 event. I think one of the big things with a platformer from this team is the game feel. And with Mario, it is all about the movement. It's all about throwing Cappy, diving off of Cappy, bouncing up, and how good it feels to control the character. In this game, you don't have that. I think there's a different focus as far as the way they want you to play this game. As I'm watching the gameplay right now, right, it is very much more tinkery as far as what you're doing with the environment, what you're doing as far as destruction, what you're doing as far as the collectathon aspects, and kind of digging into the world, literally digging into the world. And I think that is going to be an interesting thing to see how that vibes with people, and if that turns people off that might want a straight up Mario Odyssey, I just want the controls to feel good type experience.
But my question for that, because I watched this, and as somebody who loved Mario Odyssey and really pushed hard that year for it to be Game of the Year, as much as I loved Breath of the Wild, I look at this and see so much Odyssey in it, but also don't get turned off by the idea that it's not going to be as precise. Even when you're talking about the dodge jump or whatever, you were air dash when it popped up, I feel like he's going to have a movement. When you two played it, did you have access to all of these moves? Were these things that you didn't get to see? Or were you surprised by the air jumps and the toss the platform and double jump off of it, that kind of thing?
I mean, I think part of it is that we didn't have enough time to really explore the movement options, but
Obviously.
also there was definitely things like the chunk surf or whatever it's called, where he was surfing on top of one of the big rocks. We had that, right? And we're digging through and all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of this in the presentation we saw, but even in what we played, I do feel that the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom in very different ways, kind of foundations of not just gameplay, but the systems of that game are in this, of obviously being able to climb anything, but without a stamina meter, but also being able to break anything. And the way the physics all kind of play together seems to be such a big part of this game. So it kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild in the sense of you start the game off and you have all your abilities already. And it's you have your tools. It's just a matter of using them. This game, I mean, we didn't get all of the things they showed, but it did feel oh yeah, we could pull the thing out of the ground, surf on it, throw it at something else, stick it on something. There was a lot of stuff at our disposal immediately.
And I when we played this at the Switch 2 event, we had Nintendo representatives with us to help guide us or whatever. And there's so many times where they had to tell me oh yeah, and if you do this, and if or I would try to break a piece of concrete out the ground, and I kept pressing the button that would help me pull dirt. And I kept trying to do it to concrete and it wasn't working. And I was like, hey, am I doing something wrong? And he was like, oh, it's concrete, so you're gonna have to hold it longer. And I was like, oh, okay. And hold in it is a big pull, and then pull it out the ground kind of thing. I think in those ways, it's just less intuitive, but more, I think, appealing to if you are the kind of person that likes to tinker and it reminds me of World of Tears in that sense, I guess, in terms of the way that they want you to think about the game and think about putting things together and this different types of surfaces and stuff. And it almost feels like more of a thinking man's platformer in that sense, which excites me. But yeah, like overall, I'm excited about this. So much fan service here as far as music, world, all that stuff. And then also RPG elements kind of caught me off guard, but I'm open to it, right? That stuff seems fun. This game just seems jam-packed in a way that I'm looking forward to. So I really like this direct.
Greg.
Yeah, I have no affinity for Donkey Kong, of course, being a Sega kid and joining with the N64 era. Even Kong 64 wasn't my jam. I think this looks incredible. This looks a game I won't be able to put down. It looks like one of those, all right, cool, what do you want to do today? Do you want to go find the bananas? Do you want to take on the boss? Do you want to go into these little mini games they have there? And the story seems interesting enough, right? I think more than anything, it is the idea that, as Blessing just alluded to, you see that skill tree pop up, and I am like, oh man, I'm going to immediately invest in the sonar because I know I'm going to want to get the bananas to do X, Y, blah, 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 blah. Beyond that, the boss fights look great, as Andy called out. In the reaction, the world looks gorgeous, and it looks, I guess the biggest thing is it looks fun to explore. It looks... As I watch this, it reminds me of how much I loved Odyssey and how I put Odyssey down and never came back to it. And that is a regret to me, right? In terms of how much I loved that game. But to look here and be like, oh man, like I'm going to get the same vibe out of this of going through, changing my clothes, building the loadout, challenging myself to get those little things on the side path right there he didn't get. I'm looking forward to this because it does seem like a game I'm going to get lost in isn't the right word, but I feel like it'll eat up a lot of time where it will be that I come home and, hey, Ben, you want to play some Donkey Kong? And he gets on that second controller to control Odd Rock, a.k.a. fake Pauline.
Yeah.
I refuse to admit that she's Pauline until I have some confirmation. Pauline, exactly. But I think there'll be that. I can see plane rides being, all right, cool, let's go through and try to get some of these bananas. Let's go through and try to get these things I've missed. I'm looking forward to finding the secrets of it, the smashies of it, and everything else. I thought that looked incredibly impressive. I'm way more hyped for that than I was before this.
Andy.
Yeah, I would say I'm more excited than I was for it. I don't think it's going to be something that I'm like, holy shit, we're 2 weeks away from. Oh my God, we're a week away from it. But it's something I'm definitely going to want to mess around with. And a lot of it just comes down to the tinkering aspect and how fun and silly all the interactions look. Like I love in really any survival game when you can dig into the terrain and get the really, really nice sort of, it just makes your brain feel good and fuzzy when you hear the feedback of the gems coming towards you and breaking of the stones and all of that. It seems like I had mentioned, it reminds me a lot of the sort of interaction with the environment that you have with Astrobot. And I don't mean the breaking of things, it's just like all of the little particles, all of the little objects kind of, popping up whenever you break a mountain and you see all the particles and objects on the ground. It looks like a really, really fun time. It doesn't scream to me that this is going to be for, if you were the hardcore Mario 3D player, you are going to be, super into this. This just feels like it's kind of going for a little bit something different. And I really like that. I think it seems interesting enough to where I want to definitely give it a shot whenever it comes out. But I'm not like the most stoked for it. I'm mainly excited for a lot of the music callbacks, because that's, I'd say the Donkey Kong Country games were, really massive parts of my childhood. So yeah, I think it looks awesome.
That's fascinating for me because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand different opinions, but for me, this is a holy shit. July 17th can't get here soon enough. I want to play this one.
Yeah, we're 1 month out, like less than 1 month out, which is very exciting. I'm a Nintendo guy, so I'm like, oh man, I'm counting down the day. To get my hands on this one.
I would say, if anything, I am really excited to see a Switch 2 exclusive game. Mario Kart is fun, and I have definitely been playing that more than I was around when launch came out because I was so busy with Night Rain and Lies of P. But finally getting the
single
chance
player Switch 2. Let's invest a lot of time here.
I want to see it on that screen, and I want to see it plugged into the die. It's a game that I'm stoked to see. This is what the hardware is doing now, as opposed to an older title being updated to maybe run better. Yeah. Or I was telling Bless how bummed out I was that Scarlet and Violet got the 60 frame per second push, but RCS is still capped at 30. I was like, oh damn, that's a game I would have loved to have seen run a little bit better. So yeah, I'm pretty jazzed up to sort of to see this game whenever it does launch, because it just looks like a lot of fun to run around. It doesn't seem like a game that if you have nothing to do that you're going to put down and be bored by it, because of the tinkering nature of things, the way that I am when I'm sitting down at a table and I see a wad of paper and I start tearing it up and just, it's sort of like that fidgety type of deal.
Yeah.
It feels like it's going to be really satisfying. It's going to scratch that itch.
I think coming off of Mario Kart World, I think before World got here, I had slightly less hype for this game because I thought World was going to give me all of like the open world collectathon, like that single player experience in the free roam mode. And then once we got World and realized like, oh, okay, it's just the P switches, which is fine, but like not necessarily what I wanted out of this. I have a way bigger appetite for this now. Like to your point, Andy, like I am kind of primed now to what that like, switch to current gen exclusive, like, collectathon that I know I'm going to lose 20, 25, 30 hours to just collecting everything. I think they've positioned this well as far as like how they have the first party slate going.
Yeah. I'm really into the Pauline stuff. Like I'm happy that like that was a reveal that they just got over with and it wasn't like, oh, halfway through the game you get Pauline and whatever. It's like, I like her being a character and them leaning into that. Obviously Nintendo's giving Donkey Kong a huge push with his movie appearances and the theme park and all that stuff, but like the redesign and everything, like let's give another franchise of Nintendo a chance to like be that top tier, one of the big five.
Yeah,
he sounds like a WWE. Getting the push right now. Getting the
but
bump.
real talk, like getting that push, and Pauline as well. Like I think it's cool seeing her start to appear in the sports games and kart, and now getting this new iteration and like kind of like fleshing it out, and also it being a little girl. I think is kind of cool. Like for this to be a kind of boy feeling game of like this big monkey breaking shit, but it's like
it's about a girl as a singer.
It's getting a lot of like Frozen vibes as well. Like, I just feel like this is like a very well marketed game to an audience that is going to absolutely adore this thing, like boy, girl, otherwise.
We don't know what Jenna the Rock is, so let's not.
This fucking rock situation. I am a little bit like, why are we overcomplicating this? I will see from the game, but like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
I imagine because like she has like a little rock bracelet on her wrist, which I assume is the thing that's turning her into the Rock. If I'm going to dispute some of Greg's claims here, and I
you think she's a girl first and a rock second?
I think she's a girl first and the Rock.
It's like Avatar. She's trying to infiltrate the Rock like tribe.
And I think it's here's the thing. I played Jack and Daxter for the very first time yesterday.
The Precursor Legacy.
Yeah, the Precursor Legacy, and in that game, I don't know if
the first time.
For the very first time, yeah, I've never picked it up before. Pretty cool game.
Yeah,
it's like it's open and shit. It's pretty cool. In that game, did you know that Daxter was a human that turned into an Ottsel?
Yes.
In the game, in the series, is kind of like trying to get him back into a human.
Jokes about this, for a long time.
Did you know that?
Yeah, because he's
like
just
the whole point of the
he's
game.
just kind of fine with it for a long time.
You know that's the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if there's an element here where it is, we got to get this bracelet off of you, Pauline. Like, you keep turning into the Rock. Like, you're cursed. You keep turning into Dwayne Johnson, and we got to keep you as Pauline. I could see it maybe being something along those lines. What I will say of the Pauline stuff is, assuming, because have they ever confirmed that this is the Mario Odyssey team?
They still haven't, but it is.
Very
now
clearly
it's more clear than ever that it is that team.
I do appreciate how much they're keeping the continuity of, all right, Mario Odyssey going into DK Bananza. Like, this feels very much like a prequel in that way of, like, you got the same sort of Pauline like character model there. You have like this like world that feels like, here's the thing, right? Going back, Tim, I remember on either KFGD or Gamescast, me and you were talking, and I think it was you that gave the prediction of like, yo, this game's gonna end with a little Italian plumber coming up some structure and trying to save Pauline from you, Donkey Kong. I've never been more convinced in my life that is going to happen, and that's going to lead into the continuity.
JB Bonificio says final stage takes place on a construction stage with an evil Italian plumber trying to steal Pauline. And yes, I did say that.
You did say that.
The moment that the Pauline thing leaked, it's like, oh my God, can you imagine? I am not sure they're going to do it.
No?
Well, here's the thing. I'm of two minds here. Cranky's in this, and the timeline, bless. The timeline, it doesn't add up. But real talk, more than anything, the timeline doesn't fucking matter. These are just characters to Nintendo. They don't really actually give a shit about
Pauline
any
being
of
a
that.
child already like disrupts that whole like Cranky Kong was the original Donkey Kong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
none of
it's
this makes sense anymore.
None of it makes sense. None of it matters.
Well, don't
Is
forget
it
that
cool?
Pauline's a
Is it
fucking
fun?
rock.
And we're seeing these challenge courses that have that show the kind of old school Donkey Kong tower going on too. So are these like in subspace or something? Who the hell knows?
I mean? Like, they're references.
Speaking of these though, I hope there's a ton of them. And I'm so excited. This is the type
The
of shit
challenge
that I
course? Yeah,
want.
for-
Yeah,
yeah,
like
for sure.
loved how they looked. Obviously, very 2D Donkey Kong Country inspired, but going through the different worlds that we're familiar with. Like,
I mean, this
seeing
right here
Sticker
is
Brush in the-
DK64. You know what I mean? Like that's a game that when I talk about some of the complaints of that game, too many mini games is like one of the things, right? But like,
And none of them are really great.
yeah, but it's also part of the identity, I think, of Donkey Kong. So for them to have, this right, like all the Bramble
It's
in the
Bramble
background.
Blast, like, and then the minecart stages, like they just seem to be pulling all the most important, memorable things from Donkey Kong's history, both the arcade game, Country, and the 64. And also, like some of the things we're seeing here, like clearly, this is the Mario Odyssey team. This is the Galaxy team.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much just fun flipping perspectives and trying weird different things that we rarely see in other games that have that much
rare.
gameplay variety. But yeah, it's and also all the transformations. Like there's something about this. I said this in our first preview, but it almost feels less like a 3D Mario and it's more like a 3D Wario. The 3D like the Wario Land games. And yes, it's Donkey Kong and it's different, but the level of platforming and what you're doing and how you're moving about the world, it's a bit more about attacks than it is about
You're chunky,
platforming and,
you're
like,
aggressive,
Yeah.
like you're breaking through things.
Those boss fights look so much fun. I
100%.
I'm so stoked to see exactly what the mechanics are. They just seemed like, okay, these enemies look like they're large enough that I want to take down with throwing the rocks at them, exposing the weakness, seeing what the patterns are. They just, I don't know. It reminds me a lot of having fun with Kirby
and the Forgotten Land.
Forgotten Land
Exactly.
boss fights.
Very similar bosses.
Yeah.
I love that. We got a bunch of super chats that I want to get to, but we'll do that right after a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. If you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or simply return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team are always there to have your back with personal and fast support. Y'all know I've been outside a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. Exclusively for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Again, go to shadyrays.com, use code FUNNY to get 35% off polarized sunglasses. I just went on Twitter, and this is unverified, but it reads legit, so I'm just going to say it here.
Please.
Reese tweets out, DK Bananza is being developed by a new team that was spun off from the Odyssey team. There are a lot of younger devs in the Odyssey team that grew up playing the DKC games and wanted to make one. I've heard the Kremlings are making a return. 3D Mario still on the way. I hope that's all true. Every single thing
I don't
said
buy
there.
it.
You don't buy it?
I don't buy it until I get some official word.
I mean,
unless Mario comes out in the next year.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this does seem like this does not seem to the scale that I would have expected the next game from that team, from what we're seeing so far, after the amount of time that we've had to wait. So the dream scenario for me is we get multiple projects, and this is awesome. And I'm not even saying this is a small scale. I'm just saying it is not. This doesn't look like the holy crap.
Like, we haven't seen a game from that team since 2017.
Officially, I mean, we got Bowser's Fury, but that feels like a smaller. I expect this to be much bigger than that game.
Yeah.
Really quick before you get into Super Chat, something I saw on social media as well is just like the deep cuts of like this
Nice.
canceled Donkey Kong racing game.
That's right.
Man, don't get me started, man. About Donkey Kong Racing. What we could have had.
GameCube.
Fucking Xbox had to go buy Rare and ruin
Fuck everything up.
Yeah.
What we could have. But I love this. We're getting Dixie, dude.
That's awesome.
That's really, really cool.
Can
I'm
you
very happy about that.
Barrett, can you rewind to the parts where we did see Diddy Kong and
Yeah, let me
Dixie?
find
missed
where
that.
they're sitting at like a table. Let me
Thank
find
you.
out where it is.
Thank you.
Got a lot of super chats. Ricardo says Nintendo put in the Donk in Donkey Kong. True.
That booty.
Oh yeah, that ass is real shaped.
Yeah.
Ultra Hyper J-Dub says, I'm about 15 minutes behind, but I'm happy to get to watch this live with y'all. I'm in vacation this week, and I don't usually get to listen until the night. You guys rock. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
And thank you all for real. I think this all kind of started with our number of delayed flights from the Xbox thing,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah.
reacting to something late. I think that's so sick that people want to watch us be enthused.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No, we can sleep in now.
Very cool stuff. Melodic Quest says, calling it now, game of the year. I feel like that's where a lot of my hesitations, I guess, negativity comes from, is like, from my experience with this, I'm going to love this game. I just don't think this is going to be a 96 on Metacritic.
No.
You know? And like, that's what I want from this team. So if me being let down, it's like only compared to some of the greatest games of all time, and also a 20-minute gameplay demo that I did.
How much did Mike spend on this game again for Fantasy Critic?
A ridiculous amount.
I love him.
Is anyone getting Game of the Year vibes from this?
I think it's a contender for the list.
Yes. No, for sure.
I think it'll be high 80s, mid to high 80s.
I think it's
I'm with that score right now in terms I can't wait. Like this looks, I'm going to play the shit out of this game. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I think for me, it will be determined on just getting my hand on the controller, right? Like, I think the thing that immediately strikes me as like it's not blowing my mind are the visuals. Like, I don't look at this game and I go, oh, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before, but I also just don't have that expectation for a Donkey Kong game on the Switch 2. But it is the Switch number 2. You know what I mean? There should be a uplifted expectation for visuals and graphical fidelity, but also like I know that that's not what this game wants to do. I know this game wants to push the tech as far as destructibility and like textures and stuff like that, right? So, or like I should say textures of like the breakable surfaces, not textures as far as the textures looking amazing.
At one point he's holding up one of the rocks, and I was like, man, that looks like a real low res sort of looking asset with the lighting, but you got to make some. You got to make some concessions if everything's going to be like super destructible. So I totally see that.
So I think that's if I'm watching a direct or if I'm watching a trailer, that's one of the things that immediately doesn't make me go game of the year. But like I think I could see it being one of those ones where once I get my hand on the controller and I get through the game, being like, wow, like that was a feast of content. Like, wow, this really brought me back to childhood, or this really uplifted this character in this world for me. I'll say it's a contender for being a contender.
Yeah. And one thing that like I feel might be divisive, but I'm actually really into the voice acting and like the weird story bits. Like we don't really get story from the Mario side of the Nintendo games, and them even trying at all. Like I feel like that could go a long way with these enemies that, seeing the enemies, you're like, okay, cool. It's the Odyssey team that made this, but they look way more interesting and cool than the Odyssey villains.
Yeah.
And if they're actually,
I don't even remember Odyssey villains.
there's a bunch of bunnies,
a bunch of
family
bunnies,
of bunnies.
Okay.
Like,
They were the wedding planners.
At some point, we got to talk about Mario and bunnies, because I feel like there's like a weirdness as far as like
64,
how.
you're chasing one.
Yeah, like I feel
What's
like
up
bunnies
with
fit
that?
into that world in a weird way. We'll talk about it
And
later.
even in galaxies, like running around the little thing.
Rabbids.
Weird. But yeah, I feel like there's a chance for if the I don't know if we had evidence of the villains being voice acted as well, but Pauline seemed to be talking a lot to somebody, so it could be cool to
Have some
like
back and
actually
forth
get
dialogue.
some level of like more movie-like feel from these Nintendo characters as opposed to a Mario that just says "Let's go."
Yeah,
This dude in the middle reminds me so much of one of the bad guys in season 2 of Arcane. Little like kind of rat-looking dude.
Like rat owl thingy.
Yeah, and then like it just reminds me so much of that design. Also Mojo Jojo as well.
Yeah. I will say they have subtitles, but whenever she speaks, she doesn't. And so I imagine they'll do like DK speak, where they're just kind of making noises, and we get the subtitle interpretations.
Oh yeah, when she's singing and he's just like, ooh.
Dan says, I thought we may get a Diddy Dixie announcement for Mario Kart World in this, but at least we're definitely getting some good skins for DK and Pauline. Yeah, one weird thing about Mario Kart World is DK and Pauline, but DK is the more crazy one, only have like one costume, like one extra unlock costume.
I mean, so you can get DLC after this game comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kebab says, finally, Tlu reboot I can love. Yep.
Oh, The Last of Us.
Man and his girl.
Oh, I see.
BG2580 says, shout out to Nintendo getting the Universal Studios bands working as amiibos. Excited for the E-rated Last of Us. DK's here. That is awesome. I saw that and assumed as much, but like the theme park wristbands you can actually use like to get the.
I was wondering what those
amiibos.
were. I knew the amiibos, but I didn't recognize the wristwatches. So that's cool. That's cool.
That's cool. And we just saw it for a second, like the big Kong, like the amiibos give you like the Kong letters, the giant. Like there's so much love for all the old DK stuff here. That's like that's what I'm most excited about. Is like how deep are we getting into this?
How deep? Is
I think that's the work that you probably should have been doing for a long while as Nintendo, as far as what Donkey Kong means to the business, like building out that lore, building out that like excitement for all things DK. This comes back to the top 5 conversation of like, yo, is DK one of them ones? If it is, like, you got to treat it like it is and give it the love so that you can have kids and future generations attach themselves to it. Think about Sticker Brush Symphony and how good of a song that was. Look at those Kong letters and be like, oh man, that gives me a feeling on the inside. You know what I mean?
Totally. Ollie says, birthday tax. I love that I got this gift from Nintendo and from all of you. I'm so hyped for this game and can't wait for your review. Sending you some sweet, nasty love from Germany. Happy birthday, Ollie. Thank you for hanging out with us. Living Legend says, I was on the fence initially, but after the direct, I'm very excited. Growing up in the 90s, I never liked Mario or Zelda. I was a Sega kid, but I love Donkey Kong. CJ Splits says, Sticker Brush Symphony remix with lyrics and credits. If they give Sticker Brush lyrics, they're gonna do it. You're right. They're gonna fucking do it.
I mean, that is Game of the Year. I'm sorry. That is Game of the Year. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Blueprints.
Colin Berry says, what's the TTP Mythic Quest on building features? What's the time to play so we get to them building features?
Pretty cool. I mean,
we were already kind of doing it within 20 minutes. I don't know where we were in the game, though. We did still have like The Rock, though. We didn't have Pauline.
Yeah. No, I think they dropped us. I think that would have been the first gameplay segment that we picked up at the demo. I don't know what cutscenes were before that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you get a 2-minute cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're punching.
And then you're in.
Breaking.
Then you're punching, breaking, building. Kevin T says, my first game was the original DK Country, and I got a Switch 2 to play with my 3-year-old, with this being one of her first games. Full circle moments.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And yeah, let's talk about that 2-player mode for a sec, Greg.
Yeah, let's do it.
It seems like a iteration on what we've seen from Nintendo a bunch of times, like from Galaxy to Odyssey, where it's not a full-on you're doing the same thing. It is kind of just you're helping.
Yep. I'm excited to try it with Ben. I imagine, though, I will end up being Odd Rock. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's going to want to be Donkey Kong, which is fine, and that'll be great, and I want him to have that experience. But
it doesn't sound fun. It sounds like you're kind of pushing back.
It sucks. I mean, I don't want to be Odd Rock, but I'm down to help him. But like, again, Nintendo's so good with the assist mode, right? Like, I think it's going to be fun to see Ben jump into this, and he, like, remember when he watched us react to the Nintendo Switch 2 originally. It's when he saw this is what made him go, I love Donkey Kong. Just the trailer for this, the reveal of Bananza. He was like, Donkey Kong is like, Jen sent me a video of him talking about Donkey Kong. So he's going to want to be Donkey Kong, which will probably be, maybe this is where we both get our Switches up and running. We both play the game on our own. But I think dropping in the assist mode for him, and then if I'm going through and being Pauline for him and throwing stuff would be great. This share stuff's awesome.
And I'm a little confused about it. I definitely want some more info on this. Barrett, did you find anything?
I have not. No. Not
yet. Totally cool. But if anyone in the chat understands this, like, I would love to know more, because what's going on? How are you able to play
cloud,
this game on Switch 2? Like, is it cloud?
Yeah, it's got to be cloud. It's got to be similar to what It Takes Two does, and the other one they just came out with.
But is that cloud? I thought that was like
No.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's cloud.
No way, really?
Yeah, when you are the added player, when I hopped into somebody's game, I was like, oh, this looks noticeably lower res. I am watching like a feed right now. You know, I am not getting a native version of the game right now. And honestly,
so like you're dialing in as a controller and streaming the footage.
And you know, obviously people immediately will worry about that. But I talked about this yesterday, Blessing, on the Kind of Funny Happy Hour. That Mario Kart session at LAX Wi-Fi. Pretty fucking crazy.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Was awesome, and it was smooth. Now, granted, Blessing did get kicked before the final match.
Yeah.
But
that's tough.
Like on LAX Wi-Fi, we were able to play with other people. We had Ignacio Rojas, who is one of our community members, who on the stream was like, and I'm in Chile, and that shit worked.
That's crazy.
Crazy, dude. Like, so obviously anything internet related, it's really, really natural to go, oh, Nintendo, come on. But I think that a lot of stuff has been fixed and will continue to get better. And I was really blown away by that Mario Kart experience. And I could totally see this being almost another proving ground to say, no, this shit works.
Yeah, no, totally. And I'm there, and the chat is telling me like they explained this in the actual direct, which I don't fully remember, but I'm just shocked about the Switch 1 part. The Switch 1 being able to do this is like, that's crazy cool. Like, but good for them. And I guess it's not that big of a surprise. Like someone was bringing up the Wii U of like a very similar kind of streaming system too. So it's like, all right.
But cool to see them do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, is this, no question, the dumb question. Does this use like internet or is it
it
via?
would have to, right?
Okay,
Or is it like that ad hoc stuff?
Yeah, that's why I'm
don't
wondering.
know.
Like, is it the thing of, hey, if you're in the same vicinity, Switches can just speak to each other?
I was incorrect about Mario Kart World, but these are right now the share locally able games right now.
Interesting. I mean, I do think that that's cool. It sucks that it's not for Mario Kart, but for the second big exclusive to have that feature with Switch 1 is very smart. And obviously, I would say majority of people that have Switch 2s at this point also have Switch 1s in their household. Like, I don't know if we'll ever know that, but like, I feel like that's a pretty safe assumption. So that's cool to be able to give Ben a second one. Well, the other Bens of the world that don't have the luxuries.
Not the Ben whose dad is like, you will never want for anything. There's a Switch 2 downstairs boxed ready for you. I did take the dock out, so I could have a dock downstairs and a dock upstairs, but I'm all set.
Find Familiar Game says, my friends and I just left our secure, stable job to launch a new game shop in Ohio. Thanks for inspiring us to just go do the thing and chase our dream. Congrats.
That's beautiful.
I saw this one. I've been looking into it. I backed them on Indiegogo. They have an Indiegogo up. You could go. You can go to Find Familiar Games on Instagram if you want to check it out and do that stuff.
Cool.
But I'll be getting a T-shirt. I'm very stoked about that. Mount Vernon, Ohio.
That's so cool. You know, not to add more work to your plates, but there's a couple YouTube channels that I've started following recently that are just retro game shop owners, and they just like make weekly videos of like the people that come in the shop and like what they get,
Here's
and
the
the trades
haul.
they make, and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is so freaking cool. So like, hey, if you want more work, make a YouTube channel. I'll watch it. Wendell Shoemaker says, I will not stand for the slander towards the Brutals from Odyssey. Loved seeing a new cast of villains outside the Koopalings, and they had fun boss battles you could exploit to finish faster.
Yeah,
We're called the Brutals.
I mean, they're definitely better than the Astrobot enemies. Come on. Think about that stupid ass fucking green
I remember the
slime.
green alien dude. I don't remember any of these goddamn bunnies. I remember
like
Bowser dressed to the fucking nines, ready to marry Peach.
Yeah, I want to say I'm torn, but I'm not. I didn't like the Brutals. I want to see a new cast because we can't just do the Koopalings over and over, but we haven't ever done the Koopalings in 3D, right? Am I wrong about that?
I guess not. Yeah, I think
So
you're
it's
right.
like, let's do it. You know, it's the
Yeah.
same thing here
Wait.
with like the Kremlins, man. We haven't seen them in hell
Were
long.
they not in Galaxy? In any of the galaxies?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No.
We gotta have like a summit for 3D platformer like villain, like groups of villains. You know what I mean? Like I think Andy as an
Support
artist
group.
Yeah, and like more of a. We just got to get it together because I feel like even the big dogs are failing on this. Like with Odyssey, with Astrobot, like why are these groups of villains? I think we have to have Kojima as a speaker. You look back at all the Metal Gears. It's like
We need
always amazing villains.
Beauty and the Beast.
How do we how do we translate that to 3D platformers? You know?
You're right, though, dude. It's important. We should.
Have a summit.
Let's have the summit.
I think these will, at one point the Koopalings were nobodies to us, right? I think I'm using the same rationale as like, look, at one point Will Ferrell in your favorite SNL cast was a nobody to you, but I think these people, this group, what were they called again?
The Void.
The Void Bastards.
Something like that, yeah.
The Void Kongs.
I think they can really,
Void
really,
Company.
They're
Void
gonna tear this
Company.
shit up.
Yeah, I think they're gonna
Stand
be the
out.
stars
When you
of
look
the
like
show.
a gremlin, I'm down.
They look
They
better.
look great.
I think that these look significantly better than the cast of Nintendo villains that are brand new like groups that we've seen and I'm including Tropical Freeze and Donkey Kong Country Returns. I think that this group feels like it has a lot more personality than the Brutals for sure. So
Who are the Kirby and the Forgotten Land villains?
there was the big monkey. There was just a bunch of big animals.
Yeah, we gotta
There was
fix
the
this.
armadillo.
We gotta fix this. Enough with just the big animals.
Really quick, Bless, just another thing that made me think about DK64. If you see in the kind of top right corner of the G here, you see this gong over here. Reminds
Yeah.
me a lot of
Yeah,
this gong.
you're right. Oh, we're so back.
I do want to call
Donkey
something out
Kong.
from the official press release here, all right? Because I was trying to get all the names of the Void Company or whatever. But more importantly, they do call out that the Void Company, they are also responsible for turning Pauline into Odd Rock.
Oh,
Wow.
So it
shit.
is not Odd Rock turning into Pauline. It is, in fact, Pauline turning
confirmed.
into Odd
Wow.
Rock. According
Confirmed.
to Nintendo, if you want to believe that, they could be swerving us. They could be
Yeah.
swerving us.
You think
They've
they're
done
gonna-
it before.
The whole direct ended with a dramatic moment of her falling into a void,
Uh-huh.
right?
Shit.
And then him reaching out. Like, what if like the
Feels so much
dramatic end of
deeper.
this game is they have to make a sacrifice, and like, do we save this entire world, or does she turn into a rock and Donkey Kong fucking punches that thing into oblivion?
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the Life is Strange
Million
ending.
pieces.
I think the end of this game is either going to be them facing Mario or Donkey Kong fucking destroying Pauline as a rock.
Sure. But,
Damn.
but that sacrifice will let her come back as a human being.
You're so right. I
And
mean,
be
the
a mayor.
whole game is the anti-rock agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy stuff.
Jesus. That's so violent. That's such a violent thought.
As much as I want the Mario ending, Mike Minotti made a good point on Last of Nintendogs, where it's like Nintendo, they don't want to have Mario be seen as like a villain, quote unquote, or like as
Have
a
it be
bad
Wario,
guy.
then.
You know,
But like,
I don't believe that. That doesn't sound like a real thing. I know you're going to
I don't
tell
know.
me
Knowing
no one's going
Nintendo?
to give Mario a gun. You will see Mario in Fortnite with a gun at some point. And I stand by it.
and he had a gun in the
remember
Ubisoft.
when they
He
were
did.
horrified when
Sunshine.
Rare gave Donkey Kong a gun?
And also, Mario was frowning in like the Smash
He
Brothers
scowls.
games.
He's been scowling
He's been
lately.
scowling
got
for a
stabbed
minute.
by
That's
a
different,
killed.
that's
Yeah, he got
different than
killed,
being
yeah.
an antagonist, though.
I think that if you at
it's a
any point
misunderstanding.
were really attracted to the visuals of Sonic the Hedgehog, and you go, oh shit, he's fighting my guy in the Olympics, like
Yeah.
he's my villain right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's a great
He
point.
is my
It's a great
Russia.
point.
in that one hockey game.
I also view
Miracle,
it.
Miracle on
on
Ice.
Ice.
I don't see it as as like an antagonist thing. I see it as like a
USSR, my bad.
ending Easter egg of like, oh, that's Mario. Oh shit, he's coming for me.
Well, I mean, we're just gonna, again, we're going to follow the Last of Us thing. We're seeing Last of Us vibes here. Like, Donkey Kong is the bad guy. Mario's the
Yeah.
good guy at the end. Think of it that
What
way.
if halfway through you have to play as Mario, and then you
Oh,
learn
shit.
a lot about the connection
We'll
between
see,
people?
dude. They're holding a lot back in this direct. Oh, man.
And you're like, I never
DK
thought
artist,
he'd
Andy.
win me over.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I like Mario more than Donkey Kong. That's crazy.
The DK artist mode.
Oh, crazy!
Very
That's
cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
It looks great. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Tilt Brush, or I'm blanking on the actual app name for it, but it was one of those kind of first apps that you get whenever you have your VR glasses, because you're essentially using the Joy-Cons to manipulate everything. I think it looks really rad. I mean, what a weird addition to throw in here that
Yeah.
makes really no sense, but they're kind of just throwing everything in here.
It feels like one of those things where once you have the systems of the games established and you realize how much like good destructibility you have here, it's like, well, we could turn this into a sculpting thing pretty easy if we wanted to.
100%, yeah.
This feels like the game was done a year and a half ago.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh, it's done
Fuck
for
it.
the Switch 2 launch. And they were like, oh, we delayed that a year and a half. And like, oh, shit, we got extra
Well,
time.
fucking,
But
what do you guys want to
think
do?
so much of this game screams to me like a kid's first adventure. Like, this is going to be so many kids' favorite video game or first favorite video game. And
Yeah.
adding like these extra little modes that seem more fleshed out than they should be. It doesn't just seem like an afterthought. It's like, let's really get in there and add fun little gimmicks and things that kids are going to want to do, like the turning on the lights and adding the animated backgrounds and stuff. Like, I've said this before, but like getting Mario Paint, I found so much fun in that game. And it was just a freaking MS Paint clone. You know what I mean? With like minor mini games and stuff.
Yeah, the
But, like,
music, chill
but
out.
It had the
Man.
music composer. Like,
Fuck to that music.
but
so
that was the
much.
thing, is like it gave you so many things to do that felt like you wanted to do. And I feel like with this, like the kids are gonna have so much fun. Like seeing the Mario and Donkey Kong and all that stuff. I imagine those are gonna be preset standards, and you can just like load those up and then fuck with them. Like, kids love coloring books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
They
allow
do.
them to like play with this stuff in a video game. I think that's really, really cool.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait.
The transformations are interesting to me. Very Yoshi coded, which is a good thing. I
Very
like the
Kirby
gameplay
coded.
variations, but I'm not seeing too many variations here. I think that's my biggest problem is
Hating
so
ass
much
hater.
of this game is like you're just punching and breaking shit. And then it's like, all right, here's your ability. You go faster to punch and break shit. Here's
Yeah.
another transformation where you punch and break
Oh,
shit.
you're running on water. He's running on water there as a zebra.
Yeah.
The ostrich is used for flight and
He's got
gliding.
eggs.
Mhm.
Tim
mean-
just wants to hate.
For me, it takes me back to like the Donkey Kong Country games where like you had transformations in those, right? Or Did you transform into Rambi or did you ride Rambi? I'm forgetting now.
You rode him.
In the same
Yoshi's
swordfish.
Island, you transform into the thing.
64 is
64 you
as
transform into them.
Yeah, you transform.
Wow, they really couldn't figure that out in 64. They're like, just make him turn into the fucking thing. But I guess like if I'm counting those as I guess transformation / power up situations, right? Like that had 2 or 3 between Rambi and then the swordfish
The ostrich.
and the ostrich. It's like
the
3?
swordfish would have been a cool addition.
I mean,
I
I'm
know.
sure he's in this.
You think so?
I mean, with how much they're showing here, like, I mean, even look at that. Like, the design of the rocks has the, like, old school.
See, I see
why
that
am I
you would need to be
blanking on-
underwater.
What? Mario versus Donkey Kong, right? What are they fighting on? What is that? A construction site?
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about because I tried to name it earlier and I couldn't think of the
Yeah.
word I was looking for.
They're on girders.
Not ramps, but like
Girders?
Yeah,
Okay.
steel girders.
Yeah. Little wrecking cruise ship. I'm not sure, but
Will we get a swimming bonanza for him? Which animal? I mean, that would be the swordfish if there were to be one, a marlin, if you will. Remember when Roger didn't know the word marlin? Remember
No.
this?
No,
Are you
don't
trying,
really remember
wait,
that. Don't
is-
remember that.
are you trying to create new narratives because you couldn't remember croissant or what? Oh, bagel.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
well, that was me just forgetting the word.
They're trying to bring other people down with you.
That was just me not being able to
That's
remember
crazy.
the name of a word in the way that I never remember words. But yeah, I remember like bringing up the word swordfish, and then I brought up the word marlin. He was like, "What's a marlin?" I was like, "What are you talking about?"
That's crazy.
yeah.
What is a
Crazy.
marlin?
In New York, they
A
don't got
marlin's a
fish.
A marlin looks like a swordfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what this was either.
Matt in the chat says, give some love to my boy Squawks. Squawks is the parrot, which we did see in here. He was one of the things that you can
He
play for.
spelled it so wrong. It brought him a completely different definition.
Marilyn Monroe's popping up.
He said Marilyn, Marillin, is a feminine name or Latin Greek origin.
Oh, that is an eye there. I put an extra eye.
Oh my god, I love that.
I did we? Sorry, Bear may have brought up the Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong part, and I just wasn't maybe paying
Yeah,
attention.
he froze on it a few times of them sitting
fuck.
at their little desk.
Damn it.
I mean, the store, the stuff shop. That's
Stuff
pretty
shop.
fun.
Yeah,
It's all just
I want some
Mario
outfits.
Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
which I'm
crazy how
stoked
much
for.
of it is.
Just goofy ass costumes.
Like
Hell yeah.
so much of the UI in this game is Mario Odyssey with a different, with a slightly different font. Like a
And I'll
Donkey,
take it, man.
Donkey
I'm
Kong
in.
guy's
Let's
font.
fucking go.
Wait, can you bring them up again? I missed them every single time.
Yeah.
They're at the desk.
Yeah,
How
and
do you
there
guys
seems
see
to be
that?
like a competition thing going on here, so maybe they're judges or some shit.
That's cool.
And then he smashes the desk.
They welcome there. We don't have your reservations.
There
sir.
are no kings, he says, and he smashes
Did
the
you
desk.
just take out Dixie Kong?
Yeah,
she
she
dodged.
dodged,
She
yeah.
dodged. Jesus.
She's okay.
Dumb, man.
Yeah, I don't
Love
see any
looking at
ostrich.
Blessing's Google search right now. There's a marlin. There's it.
Listen, I didn't know what these. I didn't know they're called marlin. So like, is swordfish not the scientific name?
I'm sure there are different genuses or species or something like
Gotcha.
that. I'm sure there's something different.
You're a
I
different
love the
genius.
color variants, man. I it's one of my favorite things in gaming. You know,
Yeah.
it's what you know. Seeing Mega Man get different
wait,
colored
okay,
armor
there's
is
an
so
ostrich.
cool. Back in the day for me.
Yeah, it showed one of his power ups as he turns into an ostrich.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, I was thinking of the swordfish. My bad.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking of the marlin.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Andy. And them having different skills, very cool. I hope there's the transmog or whatever it's called stuff to not like to be aesthetically pleasing and have the power ups. They won't.
I
It's
guarantee you they
Nintendo.
won't have that.
But
They don't know
them-
what that is.
Them having the music,
That is.
of actually being able to go in and like choose different songs. Thank you. That's awesome. And it seems like there's gonna be like a sizable library of songs. So, and I loved the Odyssey soundtrack. It was such a different
yeah.
vibe and
Yeah.
stuff too. So,
I kind of wish that there weren't these RPG mechanics. Not that I'm like ever again.
You're
I'm
a
never that type
monster.
of
Just
person that
enjoy the
like
game.
when a game adds that stuff, I'm always like, I'm never that dude. But I would like it if just as you progress through the game, all of that stuff became stronger. And then you could go, oh shit, now I'm seeing stuff way deep in that mountain. Let me go back to the first world and see what I could have missed there. You know,
Would you rather it be, the more you use it, it levels up automatically? So if you're pinging sonar all the time, it's leveling up?
Well, no, because I don't want you to be at your desk doing the lockpick mechanic in Oblivion.
That was a lot of fun, though.
30 minutes.
It was 15, everybody, to get it to 99 or whatever.
the last 30 seconds, I've just watched Bless go from tab to tab to tab, looking at different versions of Swordfish, and then he slowly goes to Marlin from Finding Nemo and clicks on it to get to his like Wikipedia page to like learn more. We're a broken society, everybody.
Why would they call the clownfish a marlin? That's confusing, isn't it? As a child, how am I supposed to how am I supposed to grow up knowing what a marlin is when Pixar's told me this whole time that this fucking clownfish is called marlin?
That's just his name.
Yeah, but that's confusing as a kid.
I guess I also grew up. I'm
Baseball.
an Atlanta Braves fan. The Florida Marlins were a team and are a team, and then now they're the Miami Marlins.
That's
so.
the only reason I knew. I knew they were a baseball team.
That's probably where I first heard it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth because swordfish and marlin, very different, but also I don't know. It's cool to see
They're
how
sharing some DNA there.
They share some DNA.
Good.
You know, I'm trying to figure
They're
out
like
where
cousins, you know?
for
Distant
sure.
cousins.
Was it somebody on this panel that asked me about orcas recently? Just somebody that
I
didn't know.
believe so. You may have dreamt that.
Maybe it was Roger. There's somebody that didn't know what an orca was and I had to teach them.
Really?
Stop making up these narratives.
No, I swear to
Stop
God, this
making the
happened.
narratives.
This happened.
What are the narratives you have about Donkey Kong Bonanza? Let us know in the comments below. We are about to do an episode of Kinda Funny Gamescast where we are breaking down the WB Games situation, what's going on there. And after that, we got a super fun stream, Uncharted 2, continuing Naughty Dog week leading into this Friday's Barrett Courtney video essay where he replayed every single Naughty Dog game. What are his thoughts? You'll have to wait and see on Friday. But until then, I love you all. Goodbye.